Okay, people, welcome back to another Fwoosh review. Tonight I'm taking a look at the Hasbro Marvel Legends Guardians of the Galaxy Angela, or Marvel's Angela. I guess every Angela in America could hold trademark rights to the name or something. I don't know. But to get this out of the way, I blame all you assholes out there that told me how cool this figure is, or that I need it for my Guardians of the Galaxy comic Marvel Select figures, or just that I shouldn't pass it up. And that includes some people I know in person. Now, I don't know a lot about Angela. I know she was originally in the Spawn comics. McFarlane somehow lost the rights. The creator took them, sold them to Marvel or brought them to Marvel, whatever. And I haven't read anything with her in it. But, like I said, you assholes said she was with the comic Guardians, and I like the Marvel Select group so much, and everybody said that she fits in there, that I thought, I'll pick it up. It's not like I'm spending a lot of money on Bandai or Hasbro or Medicom or, any other toy company. The package is your standard Marvel Legends box, the purple theme for the Guardians of the Galaxy. I like each series having its own color scheme. That's pretty cool. Angela stands out really well against the purple background. It's nice and dark while she's skin tone gold, red, bunch of brighter colors anyway. On the side there's a comic image of Angela looking just like the figure. That's always appreciated. I hate it when the picture on the side looks different from the figure itself. It makes me think, why didn't I get this? On the back, pretty picture of Angela, little bio, these half-wanted pictures. I love these things. I say this every time we look at a Marvel Legends box. Then down here, the warnings, the unreadables, probably says something like, hey, we sculpted underwear on this one. But I'm going to get this open and see how mad I should be at you guys. And there we go, all out of the package, and man, is this figure detailed. It's very, very dynamic. Almost too dynamic? I hate to say that, because I don't really think a figure can get too dynamic, but there's almost too much going on here. At least in one aspect. One aspect kind of gets under my skin, but easily fixable. But looking at the sculpt here, oh man. Somebody did a hell of a job here. Yes, the parts that are skin tone are very plain, but only plain because of the contrast against all the armor bits. The female parts look awesome, but oh man, it's the armor that really shines. I didn't mean for that to come out like that, but I'm going with it. To hell with it. The headdress, the shoulder pads, the arms, the legs, it's just eye candy. Every time I look at it, I see a different little thing, I see a different color, I see something to look at, and that's awesome. And that transitions right into the paints. The paints are nice and crisp, and there's not a lot of shading or dry brushing here, but what paint there is looks fantastic here. I love the golds, I love the reds, the silvers, and it's kind of hard to tell what is plastic and what is paint, but it all matches up really, really well. And then there's the hair. Oh man. On most figures I would say, oh, this is too much. This just flowing out, it gets in the way, it's unmanageable. But on Angela here, I think she's been hanging with the Asgardians, she hangs with the Guardians, she's out in space. A little bit of dynamic hair doesn't hurt here. And for the size of the figure, it fits. It sticks out, but it really fits the overall presence of the figure. But like I was talking about, all these lines, all this sculpted detail right here to simulate armor, just completely works for me. Oh man, it's just, it kind of hinders articulation in the elbows, but what can you do? Hell, I didn't even know this was a separate piece right here until I just messed with it. But yeah, very, very cool. But like I was talking about dynamic, this scarf thing makes it look more dynamic, but when you're posing it around, when you're messing with it, and then when it gets under your skin, you'll notice it more and more, but it's just kind of there. It's in front of everything. It gets in the way of the arms. It starts sticking up. I don't care for it. I've seen people paint it purple and it's less noticeable because it brings out the purple of the panties and the gloves. But for me, it doesn't really work. But popping the head off and getting it out of the way because it's just a separate piece, yeah, I think that's the way I'm going to go with it because it doesn't get in the way of all the beautiful armor. I'm sure it's comic accurate. I'm sure it's supposed to be there. But in my case, no. No. Also, the belt being a separate piece, we've been seeing a lot of this with Marvel Legends. They're not gluing down the belts or any added parts like, say, this piece around the arm, this piece around the arm. So the belt does get up and around a lot, especially when you're trying to pose her, and the hang down thing, whatever that is. but I think I like that better than if it were glued to the body. Because while gluing it would be okay, I guess, it wouldn't get out of the way whenever you were going into extreme poses or whatever. Plus, you wouldn't be able to lift it up and see that they did sculpt the panty line right here. Now, I've heard the legends of the McFarlane Toys Angela that didn't paint the panties on. So you look up there and it looks like she's not wearing any panties. Hasbro went out of their way to make sure that, yes, there's panties sculpted on. There's even a wrinkle across the butt sculpt here. So, yeah, no question there whatsoever. Now, for articulation, she's got a ball at the top of a hinge in the neck, so can look down. Can't look up really good because of the hair, but you can get swivel. You can get a lot of side to side. Hinge and swivel at the shoulder, but these shoulder pads are attached to the shoulder, so they kind of come up whenever you try to put the arm out, but not so much. It gets up to about right there. It tries. I mean, if it wasn't glued on to the shoulder so far up, then maybe it would get more range because you can see the shoulder pad trying to pop up as it comes up. And then, of course, it swivels around. Hinge and swivel at the elbow comes up to 90 degrees, and then it swivels. Hinge and swivel at the wrist. The armor gets in the way a little bit, but does swivel. Hinges in a little bit. There's a ball at the torso, comes forward, goes back, side, side. Then there's twist. Good range of movement there. Hinge and swivel at the hip, comes forward, goes back, not so much, and then out about a little more than 45. There's a swivel at the thigh. Double knee comes all the way up. Hinge at the ankle, goes back, comes forward. A lot of range of movement there. Nothing to get in the way. And then forward facing pin for rocker. For accessories, Angela comes with these axe, scythe, weird bladed looking things. I don't know what's going on here. They're just really weird. I can see the concept, I guess, but yeah, I don't really like these. Which is okay because she also comes with a sword. And the sculpt on this is really nice. It's kind of short for an Asgardian or someone that hangs out in space. You would expect a big ass sword, but this completely works. I think it's cast in the gold color of the hilt and guard, and then the silver is painted on top of that, but it still looks nice either way. And then for the sword, she's carrying a sheath on the back of her belt. Again, like I said, it's loose, it kind of flies around, but you put the sword in here and it works really nice. In fact, it gets really tight once you get it to about right there. But looks really good whenever it's back there. For comparison, here she is with the Marvel Legends Black Panther. This is pretty much the normal superhero size body for Marvel Legends. And you can see that Angela is big. She's tall. She's not bulky, she's not beefy, but she is tall. And that's especially apparent when you stand her next to the X-Men Legends Rogue. Now, I think of Rogue as kind of a beefy character, and Rogue's legs are a little bit bigger than Angela's. But overall scheme of things, Angela is taller, which again fits into the whole Asgardian thing that I think they're doing in the comics. But this is the reason everybody talked me into it, and that would be to go beside the Marvel Select Gamora to fit into that group. And while I do think this is okay, the heights match up really well, you can still tell that Angela is a smaller scale figure, only because of the proportions, the head size, the limb size, the length here and there. You can tell that she's meant for a smaller line. But in an action pose on the shelf with the selects, nobody will ever know. You'll never notice. So at the end of the day, man, I dig this figure. I'm glad everybody talked me into getting her. And I kind of feel what y'all feel whenever I see posts of, I saw your review, you liked it, you talked me into buying it, I hate you because you made me spend money. And that's where I'm at right now. You made me spend money on this figure, but I can kind of understand where you're coming from whenever you do post things like that. Because right now I'm like, you buttholes, man, just why did you talk me into this? But I'm glad you did, because I'm really happy with the figure. But it also kind of sets off some customizing buttons with me. I look at the arm and I think Darkchild, Magic. Could it be used for a custom there? Is it too big? Is it too long? Yeah, it's been so long since I've messed with any standard Marvel Legends females that I don't know. It probably is because of her size, but that thought is there. And then on Facebook, I've seen somebody already use her lower legs for a Gambit custom. Again, because of her size, this would probably work on a male body. So any direction I come at this figure, it's a win in my book. If you ever got the, what was there, one semi-super articulated Spawn figure out there, If you have an image display, this would work there. It's just a cool figure. It almost makes me want to buy non-MCU or X-Men figures again. But then my wallet's like, shut the hell up with that shit. I recommend it even if you're not into the character. So if you like the review, comment, like, subscribe. I'll catch you on Fwoosh.